Welcome back to Section 5 of Mastering Express Web Application Development. We'll be diving back into Express and taking a look at some of the more advanced features. In this section, we'll be making use of middleware to make our life easy. Let's dive into the first video of this section, middleware. In this video, we'll be taking a look at middleware and how we can use it to add functionality to your application. We'll be covering Express and its support for middleware, how we've previously used middleware in our application without even knowing it, and how to write a piece of middleware that will execute on every request. Until version 4, Express was built on top of a library named Connect. Connect provides a wrapper around http.server and adds a few extra features, one of which is allowing the server object to use a set of middleware. Express version 4 removed Connect but maintains an API-compatible interface that we can still use. Middleware are functions that take a request and a response object, perform an action, then pass on the request to the next function in the list. We can write our own middleware. Middleware is just a function with a specific signature. The request object, our response object, and a next callback. Let's create our middleware that runs on every request just to see how it works. Let's set up our app and add some middleware. If we search for app.use, all of these are instances of middleware being registered, things like logger, things like body parser, and even when we register our routes, these are all examples of middleware. We'll create a really simple middleware that logs the current request method and the URL. So what we do is we create a function with a signature, rec, res, and next. Perform our action, which in this case is console.log, and just the string, middleware, with the request method and the request URL, and then we call next. We need to call next to allow Express to move on to the next registered middleware. If we start up our app and visit a page, we can see this middleware running. Middleware can be registered at any point, but it only takes effect on any routes defined after you register the middleware. I'll demonstrate this. We'll move our new middleware after our first endpoint. Now this middleware should run when we access users, popular, or chat, but it shouldn't run if we access our home page. So let's restart our app and visit our home page. As you can see, the line that starts the middleware doesn't show in our logs. However, if we visit the popular page and check, it does show. This is because we registered it after we defined our homepage route, but before we registered our popular route. In addition to middleware being dependent on when it is registered, you can also pass it an optional parameter that provides a base path for the middleware to run on. If the URL doesn't start with the string that you provide, the middleware will not be run. So let's update our middleware so that it only runs on the popular page. Yet again, we start up our application. If we navigate to our chat page, we see that it doesn't appear in our logs. But if we visit the popular page, we see that it logs middleware is a GET request and a request to /. The request path is just / because we mounted the middleware at /popular. So for example, if we choose an image, the middleware now registers get/id. The actual URL is /popular/id, but because we mounted at /popular, that part is removed from rec.path. If you provide a path when you are registering middleware, it will run on all paths, if that is well. This is the reason that /popular/id works, rather than the middleware just running on /popular. If we really wanted to, we could replicate express routing's functions using middleware too. As we have access to the entire request object, we can check if it's a get to /foo or a get to /bar. As we can see, this works just like it does when we use app.use. In summary, middleware can be used to do some really powerful things, as the request and the response objects are shared throughout all of the middlewares called. Any modifications you make in a middleware are persisted all the way through the request. If we register multiple middlewares, they are all applied one after another in the order that they were registered. That means that the order in which we register middleware is important. In the next video, we'll be taking a look at mounting sub-applications using Express, which means you can develop your site in a very modular way and just plug all the sub-applications together to create your final application.